is like, the longer he's waited, the worse it's gotten for him. Literally, right? Like, and yes, could all this change in a moment, right? Like, Kawhi Leonard, that trade goes through, he goes to Toronto. They now start looking for somebody to kind of bring in on a wing position, which I don't like. Again, they're going to have Brandon Ingram, the Brandon and Grady Dick on top of these several other guys that they have.
Jonathan Kuminga is playing a dangerous game, and it's costing him dearly. He's been linked to the Lakers, Clippers, and even the Milwaukee Bucks, yet every passing day sees his leverage erode. This isn't just about money. It's about a player's entire career trajectory potentially being derailed by an ill-advised waiting strategy. The longer he holds out, the fewer viable options emerge, leaving him in a precarious position. And what they just said proves exactly why his supposed market is an illusion.
Want to pay him and offer him the role and the fit necessary to justify him going to that team. Because yes, money is great, but if you're just doing it solely for the money, it's a good way to never make money ever again, right?
But here's what makes this even crazier. The speaker just broke down the brutal reality of Kuminga's situation. Teams are asking, who wants Kuminga, wants to pay him, and offers the role he needs? The silence is deafening. Money might seem great in the short term, but if it pigeonholes you into a role that diminishes your future value, it's a financial death sentence in the long run. Kuminga is chasing a payday, but he might be sacrificing his longevity in the league to do it. And that's not even the worst part.
Full time. Oh, he's going to be a bench guy. And Kuminga doesn't want that. He wants to be and show what he could do and all that stuff, right? Like, it is very easy and very quick to get kind of labeled a specific player in this league. We see it happen all the time. It doesn't matter how good you are. We've also seen guys completely fall out of the league that are incredibly talented because they start to play these games.
The speaker just hit on the core issue. Kuminga doesn't want to be labeled a bench guy. He wants to showcase his full potential, which is admirable. However, the NBA is unforgiving. One wrong move, one bad fit, and you're branded. We've seen countless talented players fall out of the league because they played these games, prioritizing perceived value over actual opportunity. Kuminga's desire for a specific role is clashing with the harsh realities of the market, putting him in a truly perilous situation. And it's a gamble he took last year, but with a drastically different outcome.
These games. And, he is, as I've talked about for a while now, he's playing a dangerous game. And I understand he's probably looking at it, and his agent's probably looking at it, we did this last year and it worked out. We ended up getting $22.5 million a year or whatever, $23 million a year. But you got it for 1 year.
Jonathan Kuminga has been playing a dangerous game for a while, and last year it seemed to pay off. He secured a substantial $22.5 million deal. But the critical context is that it was a one-year deal, a calculated move by the Warriors to retain trade value, not a long-term commitment to his perceived worth. Now, that same strategy is backfiring spectacularly, with no one offering anything close to that figure. This past success has clouded his and his agent's judgment, making them believe that leverage still exists. But the next clip reveals the true reason his situation is so unique, and why comparing it to last year is a massive mistake.
On top of that, they're not understanding that was very circumstantial. The Warriors didn't want to lose him for nothing. The intention was to sign him in order to trade him. Kind of like what Indiana did with like a Bruce Brown. Right? Bruce Brown was headed to the Lakers, actually in Gabe Vincent's place. But Indiana was like, let's kind of use him as a placeholder, pay him double, and he ended up getting $22 million, and then they were able to trade him for Pascal Siakam, right? Like, that was the Warriors' game plan. Let's pay him.
This is the crucial distinction. Kuminga's big payday last year wasn't a testament to his market value, but a strategic move by the Warriors. They paid him to facilitate a trade, much like Indiana did with Bruce Brown, allowing them to eventually acquire Pascal Siakam. The Warriors' intention was always to flip him for assets, not to build around him. This contextual difference is being completely ignored by Kuminga and his camp, leading them down a path that could echo a past Lakers mistake. The parallels with Dennis Schroder are, frankly, chilling, and we're about to see just how close Kuminga is to repeating that same error.
And you don't want to be that guy. Look at Dennis Schroder as a great example, right? He turned down the bag and opportunity with the Lakers that the Lakers presented, and he hasn't been able to find a home since. Every team he's been on is tried or has traded him.
The comparison to Dennis Schroder is stark, and it's a cautionary tale Kuminga should heed. Schroder notoriously turned down a lucrative offer from the Lakers, believing he was worth more, and has struggled to find a stable home since. Every team he's landed on has either tried to trade him or successfully done so. This isn't just a bad run of luck. It's a consequence of misjudging your market and role. If Kuminga continues down this path, stubbornly clinging to an inflated self-valuation, he risks becoming another cautionary example of a talented player who prioritized money over opportunity, and his current valuation of himself is way off base according to the market.
Sometimes you have to work up the ranks, and again, your worth and your value is only what somebody's willing to pay. Like a lot of talks about, his market, right? He doesn't want below market long term. Your market is $10 million. That's your market.
Here's the cold, hard truth that Kuminga is refusing to accept. His worth and value are dictated by what someone is willing to pay. He can want below market long term all he wants, but the market has spoken. As the speaker bluntly puts it, his market right now is around $10 million. Any perception he has of being worth $20 plus million is purely theoretical, divorced from the actual offers on the table. This isn't just about wishful thinking, it's a fundamental misunderstanding of economic principles in the NBA. And the specific offer he's received only further solidifies this point, revealing a harsh reality.
Offer to you is 2 years, $20 million. That's his worth. That's his market right now. His market is 2 years, $20 million, $10 million a year.
The real, tangible offer Kuminga has received? 2 years, $20 million, which breaks down to $10 million a year. This isn't speculation or rumor. This is the concrete reality of his current market value. It's significantly less than what he or his agent might believe he's worth. But it's the only firm offer that's been presented. This fact alone should serve as a stark wake-up call, a clear indication that his current strategy is failing. But even if he could get a bit more, the underlying problem remains the same, as the next segment highlights.
Also, is that a better situation? Is that a better place? Because, going and making 15 for a year is great. But if you're never able to make that again because teams just label you now as a specific player or a specific role or whatever, then guess what? That's all you're going to be. We've seen guys, again.
Even if Kuminga could snag $15 million for a year, the question remains, is it a better situation? If that one-year deal leads to him being permanently labeled a specific type of player or confined to a limiting role, it's a Pyrrhic victory. Many talented guys have fallen by the wayside because they took a short-term gain that stifled their long-term growth and development. The NBA is brutal. Once you're put in a box, it's incredibly hard to break out. This isn't just about salary, it's about the path to sustained career success. And Kuminga is at a critical fork in the road. He needs to read the room and fast.
I'm trying to get the most money possible. I've talked about this, right? But at some point, you have to read the room. At some point, you have to understand the situation you're in. At some point, you got to look around and go all right.
At some point, Kuminga and his team simply have to read the room and understand the situation they're in. Stubbornly holding out for a non-existent market is not a viable long-term strategy. The NBA is a business, and while individual ambition is important, it must align with market realities. Continuing to believe he's worth something more than what teams are willing to pay is a recipe for disaster. The opportunity cost of waiting for a fantasy offer far outweighs the potential benefit. He needs to recognize that sometimes you have to take a step back to move forward, as the speaker illustrates perfectly with an analogy.
Right? $12 an hour, but there's real growth in potential, right? I can actually climb the scale. I have to start at $12 an hour, but,
The speaker's analogy about starting at $12 an hour with real growth potential versus $20 an hour with no upward mobility perfectly encapsulates Kuminga's dilemma. The Lakers offer that $12 an hour with a chance to climb the ladder, showcase his skills, and eventually earn a much larger, sustainable contract. It's an investment in his future. But Kuminga seems fixated on the immediate, higher-paying but dead-end job. This isn't just about dollars, it's about choosing a career path that fosters development and long-term success over short-term gratification. The Lakers offer something unique, something many teams cannot: opportunity. And that opportunity has an intrinsic value far beyond the initial paycheck, something Kuminga appears to be overlooking.
Pays maybe even double, but I'll never be more than this. This has, even though in the short term it is less, has more value long term because of the situation that I'll be put in. If I do what I'm supposed to do and I work hard and I show my worth.
This segment underscores the long-term value Kuminga is overlooking. While a short-term higher salary might seem appealing, a situation offering true growth, even if it starts with less money, holds significantly more value for a young player. The Lakers can provide that platform, the stage to demonstrate his worth and potentially secure a much larger deal down the line, either with them or another team. If he performs well in a defined role with real opportunity, his market will naturally expand. But if he chases the immediate gratification of a slightly higher paycheck in a limited role, he risks stagnating his career. And it highlights the fundamental reason why taking a lower salary now is actually the smarter play for him.
Right, like Jonathan Kuminga, him going and taking $20 million to potentially that's all he's ever going to be, if not make less, and has the potential of being fired because they just go, you know what, you're overpaid.
This is the crux of the clickbait title. Jonathan Kuminga is hiding the one shocking secret reason he refuses to join the Lakers. The secret reason isn't some clandestine negotiation or hidden agenda. It's Kuminga's own misguided belief in an inflated market value and his refusal to accept a temporary, growth-oriented role with the Lakers. He fears taking a $20 million deal that might be his ceiling, or worse, lead to him being seen as overpaid and eventually cut. The Lakers offer a path to avoid this fate, a chance to grow into a more valuable player. But his fear of being just a rotational piece is blinding him, and his fear is becoming a reality, as his options are dwindling by the day.
Finance. At this point, the market is the market for him. The teams that he's been linked to are all moved on. I mean, even the Clippers just used their exception to bring in Bradley Beal back, right? Like, so they're probably out of the picture. The Cavs are doing everything they can to go get Peyton Watson, so they're probably out of the picture. You're looking at vet minimums and maybe the Lakers coming to save you. That's it.
The market has spoken, and it's firm. Kuminga's options are evaporating faster than a puddle in the desert. Teams he was linked to, the Clippers, the Cavs, have all moved on, using their cap space and exceptions on other players. This leaves him with essentially two choices: a veteran minimum deal elsewhere, which dramatically undermines his perceived value, or the Lakers. His stubbornness has painted him into a corner, with the Lakers now holding almost all the leverage. This isn't a negotiation. It's a last-ditch effort for a talented player to avoid career stagnation. And the final question hanging over his head is simple, yet profound.
To save you. That's it. Right? So, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out. But I think Jonathan Kuminga, again, is playing a very dangerous game. And it's like, what are you waiting for? But anyways, always, this is a discussion. Pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Turn the bell notification.
So, what exactly is Jonathan Kuminga waiting for? The speaker poses the ultimate rhetorical question that underscores the entire narrative. Every sign points to the Lakers being his best, if not only, viable path to long-term success and actualization of his potential. Yet, he continues to wait, a dangerous game that threatens to derail his promising career. Will he finally swallow his pride and accept the opportunity for growth, or will his stubbornness lead him down a path of regret? Only time will tell, but the clock is ticking rapidly on Kuminga's NBA future.